All right. Today we're going to learn a new syllable division pattern. Before we start, let's review what we know. So we know that every syllable will have one vowel sound. What are the types of syllables we know? We know if we see this pattern, this is going to be what kind of syllable? A closed syllable. So the vowel will be coded with a breathe. It will say a short sound. If we see a vowel in an open syllable like he or I, it will say its long sound, and the syllable is stressed. Okay? We also know vowels like o, e, and we know if we see that, we're going to put a line underneath it. And the last one we've learned, we've actually learned two more. A vowel consonant E. If we see that E, we're going to cross it out. The vowel will say its long sound. And the final one we know is vowel R. And if we see this pattern, we arc underneath it because we know that R is going to control the sound of the vowel. Okay, let's look at these words. If we saw this word, N-A-P-K-I-N, we would know that we had to divide it between the two consonants, and we will break it there. The first syllable would be stressed. If we saw this word, A-D-M-I-T, everything is exactly the same, except now the stress will change to the second syllable. So those are the only patterns that we've learned so far. So we know vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. It will break here, a stress in the first syllable. If we have this pattern, it might be stressed in the second syllable. So let's look at this word that we have here. Okay, T-I-G-E-R. What's my first step? I look for any suffixes. No suffixes on this word. I look to see if there are any special patterns I have to pay attention to. Are there any vowels? Are there any vowel R's? Yes, there's a vowel R at the end of the word. Okay, I can see that pattern. I know it's going to say R. All right, my second step is I'm going to mark my vowels. I put a dot under the I, and even though this is arced, I'm still going to put a dot under the E because we're going to hear both sounds in that word. Okay, now we put a C under consonants we see between the vowels. Okay, there's only one consonant between these two vowels. New pattern. This was the pattern before. Now we have a new pattern. This is a vowel, a consonant, and another vowel. All right. If you see this pattern in English words, it will usually break before the consonant. So I'm going to break this word right there. Now, my next step is to code my vowels. So what do you see on this first syllable? Let's look at the pattern, and you tell me which type of syllable is this. Well, it can't be this because there's no consonant there. Could it be this one? Yes. This vowel is going to be open. And the only thing we're going to have to decide is if it is stressed. So I think we're going to mark it as stressed since most English words are stressed in the first syllable. I'm going to code it with a macron. All right, let's look at the second syllable. Well, I don't need to do any additional coding because I know the ER is going to say R. All right, so I coded my vowel with a macron, and my second one just had an arc underneath the vowel R. Okay, and I had one consonant between, and it had broken here. Okay, so my fourth step here is to decide which syllable is stressed. Now, I put the mark there, but let's just make sure I'm correct. So let's look at this word, and let's say it is stressed in the first syllable. So it's tiger. Tiger. Yes, that's correct. The stress is on the first syllable of this word. Okay, so when you see this pattern of a vowel, consonant, vowel, we will almost always divide it here. The first syllable will be stressed, and the vowel will say its long sound. Sorry? Okay. All right, let's do another word just to make sure we're all on the same page in terms of this. So here's my word. R-O-B-O-T. All right, can I follow this pattern? Is there any suffixes? Are there any vowels or any vowel R's? No. Okay, let's divide the word. So I'm going to put a dot under my two vowels. I check to see how many consonants there are between the vowels. There's only one. So I know that the pattern, when I see this, is almost always broken. It's broken there. If I break it there, what sound is that O going to make? It's going to make this sound. It's going to say O. All right? And what sound, so I'm going to coat it with a macron. What sound is this going to make? It's going to say a short sound. It'll say it softer because we're going to put our stress mark right there. Okay, so let's read this word and make sure I've done this correctly. This is a word you know. R-O-B-O-T. Robot. Okay, now notice how when I put the stress on the first syllable, the second syllable gets softer and a little bit less pronounced. Robot. So today we learned that this second pattern for words. If you see this pattern where it has two consonants, it almost always breaks between the consonants. If you see this pattern, it will almost always break before the consonant, the one consonant that is in there. And in most English words, because the first syllable is stressed, this vowel will say its long sound.